Hey, beautiful people, it's E.L. Winston, your dyslexic book nerd here. And I have with me an awesome guest, Marissa McQueen.
What's up? What's going on? I'm so happy to be here. I am so excited to talk to you, EL, today, and all of you viewers. So happy to be here.
Yay! I love it. And she is the author of Her Brother's Keeper. Boom. I got the ebook version.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to buy the physical copy also. So let's get into it. First of all, I am not really a romance reader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sci-fi fantasy guy.
I hear that. I get that. I'm going to be honest. I did my homework and I watched the last video with you and Alyssa. She be reading them books.
Yes.
And I heard the romance slander. So I was ready. I was prepared to come in here today to discuss the romance hate. So, we might get to it eventually.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, but romance be like, oh my god. But not this book, which should say a whole lot. Say a whole lot that I read this book and loved it.
That's awesome. Thank
You
you.
know what I'm saying? So can you tell my lovely readers what the book is about?
Sure. So I'm going to go off a little bit, but hopefully I'll bring it back. So, I love historical. I'm a huge romance reader, right? And I love historical romance. I grew up reading Regency books, which is like Bridgerton, all of the dukes and duchesses, and I really, really love to read African American or historical books about Black people, right? Beverly Jenkins is one of my favorite authors. She is so awesome. She does it very well. And I found that there were not a lot of great options for African American historical romances. The romances that I were finding, they were really like she's a slave in love with her master, and all kind of just very
Trash.
tragic, sad, depressing things, right? Kind of packaged as this, oh, it's a romance because they fall in love, but he's out here, beating her people or whatever.
Mhm.
Anyhow, don't let me digress because I'll get to talking and we'll be down the street somewhere. So
Hey.
anyhow, I really wanted to write a book and write books that are about Black people falling in love and really paying homage to our ancestors and all of the people that came before us to show that they had very full lives. They had, love and community and harmony. And we don't have to show all of these tragic, depressing things that have happened in our past. It's very important to talk about and understand and know and study history. But at the same time, we can showcase love and beauty and community. And so I really kind of got attached to the thought of creating a love story in the Greenwood community. Now, if you're not familiar with Greenwood, which was a neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was Black Wall Street. And so it was a huge Black community where they had businesses and, like I said, community and unity. And the dollar went through everyone, barbers and everything you could think of in this like I said, community. And I just wanted to write a story about people who fell in love and lived in Greenwood, because when you think of Greenwood or you hear of Black Wall Street, all we hear about is the 1921 race riot and massacre where white people come in and they torch the whole neighborhood and they burn everything. And so I really wanted to write a book that talked about the love that Black people had in the community. So, to finally answer your question, Her Brother's Keeper is the story of a girl who lives with her brother, and their parents have passed away. And her brother is a troublemaker, rabble rouser. He likes to gamble and womanize and smoke and drink and be about town. And Pearl is the sister who takes care of everything. She's literally her brother's keeper. You know, she cleans the house. She has a job outside of the house, like most Black women had for so long. And she takes care of everything. And her brother Vernon has a best friend, Alfred. And so, over the course of the story, Vernon disappears, and Alfred
Oh
and
boy.
Pearl have to work together to make money, and they fall in love. And I really just wanted the first book to be about simple people, um, people who weren't necessarily at their highest peak of success yet. They aren't business people. They are just the very
They
simple,
like it. They like
downtrodden. God,
your everyday
every day.
friend, aunt, cousin,
Yes,
brother. Yeah,
yes, just something that is a reflection of us and our ancestors and our history. So that is what Her Brother's Keeper is about.
it is an awesome book. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
Like you like. I felt like you slow walked me in. You know how like so with with sci-fi and fantasy, when people get into reading it, you be like, well, what book would be a good starter for you to get your feet wet for you to get into it, right? Like
Yeah.
I felt like this was my romance book
To ease you in.
to ease me in, right? Like I was like, okay, all right. Like I got invested in Pearl early,
Sure.
you know, and
Well,
I
and
was
that was so interesting about the first book. So there, spoiler alert, there are going to be three.
okay.
The next couple of months, I'll have two more out. But it's interesting, and I feel like difficult as a writer because you have to set the scene
Mhm.
before you just drop them. That's my issue with like fantasy and sci-fi books. Like, is like we jump in and you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what planet we're on, who we're talking to, what's happening. So, exactly with my story, I really kind of wanted to paint the picture of this community. It is not a true depiction of what Greenwood was actually like. It's just an artist, imagining just some things that I wanted to put in there. But you kind of have to set the scene so you know the community and who's and what's going on.
You did an awesome job of that. Like I was already in. Like I was tapped in by like really honestly, I probably was tapped in by chapter one, but like by chapter three, it was a done deal. Like we was, hey, I had to see it to the end. I had to see what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Fully invested in Pearl and Al, and I just wanted to choke the life out of Vernon the whole rip. I was like, come on, burning. Like, and then in certain instances when like I forget the Mr. Blankenship, was that his name
Yeah,
at the bank?
the bank. Hmm.
Yeah, I was upset with him and the guy when they was speaking to Pearl. Like it was like taking you back to that time where women weren't respected really their opinions and feelings. And so I felt like I was there in Greenwood, right?
Sure, sure. And even though I really do want to make sure that we're showing the love, I do also want to make sure that we're semi true to the history, right? Like as a woman, she wasn't going to be as respected or as listened to as they would her brother, who is not trying to do the right thing. Um, so hopefully, it's a full, well rounded story that shows a lot of the different things that would have happened in the 1910s, 1920s or so. So,
What do you enjoy most about writing?
I love making up stories. Even from when I was a little girl, just trying to put people in situations or think of little things that I see that I think would make a good story is really the best part of writing for me. I'm kind of an introvert, believe it or not. And so being able to sit by myself and just kind of take an idea from a little flame to a huge fire and make it a finished story is really fulfilling for me. It feels awesome, even if no one else reads it, to be able to take this idea of oh, I want to have, these two people meet and fall in love, and to be able to finish the book is just so fun to me. It's just awesome.
Hmm. Who inspires you?
Like I mentioned before, Beverly Jenkins. If you have not read any Beverly Jenkins books, oh, you have to. You have
Not
to.
one.
And
Not
I'm
one
sending
book.
you
I
out.
don't. I don't even know no book titles by Beverly Jenkins.
Oh, Miss Bev is wonderful. And she has a lot of historical fiction romance novels that kind of span the gamut of history. She has other titles, blessings titles, but I would recommend Beverly Jenkins, To Catch a Raven. I know I have so many Beverly Jenkins books, but they're all upstairs. And of course, I don't have one to hold up, but dang it. I will next time. I would say Beverly Jenkins, start with To Catch a Raven, or Rebel. There's a series where there are brothers in New Orleans, and
I love New Orleans.
yeah, and they find women, and all of her books are fantastic. But Beverly Jenkins, so well written, beautiful historical love stories, for that depict African Americans, and she is literally my fave, and I would recommend her books 10 times over.
Okay, I'll
Mhm.
have to try them out.
Okay, I'll send
Possibly.
you something.
Okay. Okay. Send me some. Yeah. I'll get. Hey, I'm telling you, because I was like romance. No, not me.
Yeah, so let's talk about that though. If I can take over the interview, why
Go ahead.
why not romance?
Um, I think it's like really sappy to me.
Mhm.
Like it always seems like um it always seems like unreal, really super sappy again.
Sure. And
So
it is.
I'll be like, yeah, no, I don't like that. And then it might be spicy, I guess. I don't really mind spice a lot. A
Mhm,
lot of it I can't stand. It
mhm.
doesn't seem to take me anywhere. Um, yeah, so yeah, I don't really yeah, so that's why I don't like romance.
Sure, sure. It's interesting. I was talking to somebody, and it wasn't specifically about books. It was,
Mhm.
I mean, about romance. It was just about reading in general. And they were saying, when people say they don't really like to read, is
Mhm.
because they haven't found
What they like to
what they
read.
like to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes I feel like that about romance, and I get the sappy factor about it, and sometimes it feels unrealistic, which is ironic to say when people like sci-fi or like fantasy.
Right?
But it's I struggle with that, and I understand it, and I want to write realistic love stories where, even though we know they're going to end up together in the end,
Yeah.
that um, they still kind of have their personalities, or it's not just like I don't know, like a robot, like, oh, I love you because you brought
Yeah.
me flowers or whatever, like that they're real whole people.
Yes, and that's one of the things I enjoy about your book is that, like, even though I knew from the start that Pearl and Al was going to get together, um, I like the way in which it transpired, the way it felt real, it sounded real, it you know what I'm saying the whole way through. So I was able to enjoy the book. So I was like, okay, cool, we can rock with
Sure,
this. I could do this,
sure,
you
I
know.
appreciate it.
Like one of my things is because um I review for my readers that read Blackout magazine, and so I don't just want to expose my readers to the books that I particularly like. Right, I want to expose them to awesome black and brown authors, whether it be sci-fi and fantasy, a thriller, horror, romance,
Sure.
um whatever genre it is, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to also expand my palette of reading and be able to, expose readers to everything that we have to offer as a people. So, you
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely.
and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is all right here." So I'm like, "Yeah." So now I'm a fan. So
I appreciate it. And it's it's a lesson that I have to learn too, because I get stuck in my ways. And so I'm very grateful to be here to be speaking about my books and reading and writing and stuff.
I love it. I love it. Let's see. Next question. Um, best writing tip you ever received?
Write every day. And so I try to write every day, even if I don't feel like it, even if I only get a sentence or a paragraph down, at least it's movement. And so I do take vacations. And so that's not entirely true. I don't write every single day. So if I'm on vacation, I unplug, or for holidays with my family, I do spend time with them, or I'm not like try not to be hunched over my computer. But I believe it was Stephen King that was like, if you're going to be a writer, if you're going to say you're a writer, write every day. So that's why I try to get some words on page, or I guess on the computer, every single day. And they don't have to be good words. They don't have to be the perfect situation or the perfect dialogue. We just have to write it down and get it down, because we can always fix what's on paper, or we can't fix a blank page. So most days I'm trying to get something in.
I like that. What makes a great story?
Oh, relatable characters, interesting things happening. Um, I don't want to say I hate a boring story, because I will read a boring story and then be like, all right, what was this about? I don't know. But I just like a interesting situation, something that we can see in this person, even if we hate the character, like
Mhm.
Vernon. What are you doing? But there's something in there that keeps making us want to read and see what happens next. So
Yes,
that's really what's
yes. Because
important.
burning, boy, I tell you. Woo.
So, just so you know, book two is Vernon. And it's interesting for me as a writer to have to be able to take him from somebody who everyone kind of, I don't want to say hates, but is kind of tired of, to somebody who they're cheering for and rooting for. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's my challenge with number two.
'Cause that's gonna be a challenge because I don't like burning at all.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the way I wrote it, so the writing process, you write and then you send it to an editor for developmental editing to get feedback. And the editor was like, Vernon is awful. So in the first iteration, Vernon was way worse.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
I actually pulled his character back a little bit to at least make him redeemable. But in the beginning, he was awful.
Oh Lord. He
So
was he was worse than what he is now. Well, I
yep.
probably would have threw the book.
So that's until I got that feedback. I was like, all right, let me pull him back a little bit. So, but like I said, I think is what makes it interesting is, when you have these compelling characters that you kind of relate to, but then they do something insane,
Mhm.
is what makes you want to read.
Yeah, like you dislike Vernon for the things he doing, but you kind of after a while you kind of take on Pearl's attitude about him a little bit. Like one day he gonna get it together.
Yeah, one day. And here's the thing, especially in our community, we got cousins, brothers and sisters like this who are out here acting crazy, aunts and uncles, maybe even our parents, who are out here wilding, and you want to love them. And it's like one day they're going to get it together.
One day.
One day.
Be like, I don't know when the day gonna be, but one of these days, Uncle Jimmy gonna get his life
Gonna
together.
get it together. We're going to hope. We'll hope.
If your book was turned into a movie, who would you want to play the main character?
Oh my goodness. This is such a great question because I have actually never thought about this. Um, oh, you put me on the spot. You know who I love? She's a little bit older than Pearl, but I love Kerry Washington.
Yes.
And so I would love to put Kerry Washington as Pearl. And now
Mm.
somebody to stand as Al. Oh, oh, this is a good question. And Vernon, who are we gonna make? Who are we gonna make as her troublemaking brother?
I was thinking about I can't remember what his name is, but his character's name in Queen Sugar, the brother, Blue.
Yes,
I kind of see as I was reading it and reading Vernon, I kind of picture him in my head.
yes.
Or,
Oh no, can you still see me? Because now
yep, I can see you.
okay.
You can't see yourself.
No, well, I'm doing the Googles.
Ah, I got you. You doing a now? Who could be? What's his name?
um, that's a great question. I would have to think about that
Yeah,
because you know what's so interesting? I okay for Al, I might put the tall guy who was in Black Panther. I think Winston Duke.
I believe that's his name. Yeah.
I think I might put him in. I don't know who I would put for Vernon yet.
That's
Oop,
cool. Yeah, yeah.
I'll have to think about it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking, who would bring them to life really well on screen? Kerry Washington, that's a good one though.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Cause I was like, who would be Loretta?
Loretta's going to be book 3.
Yes, yo, I love Loretta.
Oh yes, all of these people, and that's so. It's interesting because I have created these characters in my head, but I didn't really do for other stories. I have ideas where I put someone, an actor or an actress, in that place.
Mhm.
And for this story, I didn't. I just kind of let them speak to me. And it's interesting now trying to place them. Um, that I'm not sure. I'm not sure who we would put or where we would go with it.
That's all right. You got time. You got time. When book two come out,
We'll talk about it then.
we'll
We'll start
talk
to put
about it
some
then.
characters in.
Yeah, because now I'm tapped in. I'm all the way tapped in now. You know what I mean? Like, hey, so the sci-fi guy is now a sci-fi slash romance
You
guy.
might be the romance Don or
You
something,
know what I'm
you know?
saying? Like,
I
that'd
love
be
it.
me. Like, it's funny because my wife says that I'm very romantic, but I don't read romance at all. Like, I just be
Sure,
like,
sure.
no, I don't
Well,
even watch love stories. I'd be like, nah, I don't want to do.
it's the start of a new era, you know?
Right?
That might be y'all's little romance thing, or like your little date night where y'all could be together and
Yeah.
read a romance novel and talk about it together.
Yo, because I was like, honey, you have to read this book now.
That's
It's
wonderful.
already on your Kindle because we're on that family account. So whenever I download something to my Kindle, it automatically goes to her Kindle as well. So I'm like, hey, it's already there. You need to read it. Come on now.
Awesome.
Like
Awesome.
we drove to DC, and when I say I read like the 5 hours,
Hmm.
yeah, read the 5 hours,
Awesome. Awesome. That's
which
great.
was I was like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So how is it? Because I've talked to a couple of authors about the process of um um getting your book out there. And do you find that process hard for you, or is it easy, or no?
It is very, very hard for me. I only want to be the writer. And so, unless you are traditionally published, I am self published. Like, I'm just trying to do everything myself.
Hmm.
You have to do everything yourself. And so that means marketing your book, figuring out what cover. Now, I didn't make the cover myself. I did have an awesome graphic designer. Um, Her name is Ilea Nico, ILIANIKCO, Ilea Nico. And she made the cover awesome. She's wonderful, but having to figure out everything is really difficult for me, and I really just want to be the creative and write the story, figure out how we're going to get from A to Z. And so it is an adventure, and I am enjoying it and having fun, and it is going slowly, but that's okay. I'm just trying to, like I said, enjoy the whole process and do the best work that I can in the time that I have. So I do have a full time job. I have kids and a life, and so just trying to put my work out there is something else to do. But we're doing it. We're working on
That's right. Small steps, long
small
distances.
steps. Exactly. That's how
Yeah.
you eat an elephant, is one bite at a time. So,
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I've had that same thing in translating from just being uh in the magazine. And even when I started writing for the magazine, it took me, you know, consistency and work put in for me to build a following. And
sure,
so now translating that following from the magazine to, social media spaces,
sure, sure,
has been I wouldn't say challenging. It has been slow but steady.
sure.
And so, you know, so the
And
more
it's difficult. I don't know if you're like me, but like I want it right now, right? I want 100,000 followers and success and book sales and all of these things. And it's, you have to work toward it and put in the work. And so that's what we'll do.
That's right. I mean, but it's a blessing to be able to sit down with people, and talk about your the way in which you create. And then so I say it's the greatest job in the world. I wish it was my full-time job, and one day it will be my full-time job. All I'll do is, talk to people about cool stuff,
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yes,
So, we just keep plugging at it.
yes, we do. Yes, we
And
will.
that was another reason why when I saw your TikTok, I was like, okay, so, even though I don't read romance, I'm gonna stop saying that because now I do read romance. So even though before your book I was not a romance reader, I saw opportunity, right, to one, read a different genre than I'm used to. Two, to um give a platform to an indie author
Sure,
to talk about the book, you know what I'm saying, and get that out to as many people as I possibly can, and who listen to and watch and read the stuff that I say and do.
sure.
And so that was big for me because it was like looking at myself when I first got on the TikTok. I was like, first of all, it took me forever to find the black side of TikTok.
Yes, it does. It does.
I was like, this trash they keep putting up here, I don't read none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not my. Let me
not
find my side.
yeah,
Yeah,
let
it
me
does.
find
It
my
takes a
side where
while.
I belong, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because this ain't it.
Yes. Yes.
And it was funny that in my For You one day, a video came up of a black book talk creator saying how to get to that side. And I was like,
Perfect. We in.
We in. We in. So how are you enjoying Black Book Talk, by the way?
Oh, I love it here. I love it. I'm like, I don't know if you've seen people say, I'm building my For You page brick by brick. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So I love TikTok. It is so delightful and insightful and funny and wonderful. I feel like all of the other social medias have maybe gotten, I don't know, like I'm not on Twitter because I don't know, it just seems very hateful and angry over there, and I really don't really want to support Elon Musk like that, so I'm not on Twitter or X or whatever.
Right.
Facebook is boring. That's where my mom is, and that's where even though my mom's on TikTok also. My mom loves TikTok. But TikTok, you learn so much, and then you laugh in the next video, and then you see something that makes you want to cry,
Yes.
and it finds what you like, and then it just gives it to you, and it's been such a wonderful experience for me so far, and trying to put out my book and talk about what I have going on, and so, but it's also awkward, right? Because if I want to put my book out there, I have to make videos,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have anything to talk about. I don't want to be in front of the camera. Like, I don't put on makeup, it's just, it's awkward, but we're doing it because
Doing
we
it.
have to.
We
So
doing what we got to do to
we're
get where
doing
we
what
trying
we
to
got
go.
to do to get where we're trying to go.
That's
Exactly.
it. That's it.
Straight
Absolutely.
facts. So,
This has been awesome.
yes.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me, and I can't wait till book 2 comes out. And we'll be sitting down again if you would give me the honor and discussing book 2 and book 3 when it comes out if you'd like. You know
Awesome.
what I'm saying? Like I would love to you know definitely sit back down and talk when those books come out, and like when we get to book 3 we can talk about the series as a whole.
Awesome.
That would be awesome. If my readers are looking to find you somewhere, where can they find you?
Yes, like I said, have a TikTok, and I am Marissa McQueen everywhere. So I am on TikTok. I have a website, Marissa, Marissa McQueen, McQueen.com, where you can go in and look and see what books that I have. And also, I've recently started a Substack, which I am Marissa McQueen under Substack too. And under Substack, I just put like little meet cutes where it's just a quick story of how people met. And hopefully, it's not really a full love story, but just a cute little meet cute vibe. Just short stories on there. So that's where I'm
I,
at.
I like it. I like it. And where can they purchase the book?
Right now it's on Amazon.com. You can look up Her Brother's Keeper and Marissa McQueen, and it is available on Amazon.com. Like I said, listen, this is a one woman business here, so we're working on putting it out other places. I'm working on getting it at Barnes and Noble.
Ooh, nice.
So we'll keep chugging along. Just keep looking at MarissaMcQueen.com.
Chug, chug.
Update it as it happens. So.
All right, we gonna be here for the whole ride.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for this time. It has been so good to talk to you, and I'm very appreciative.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all. That's it for us. So listen, she already told you where you can find her. She already told you where you can find the book. Go get the book. Purchase that book today.